Good morning, Daniel. Really appreciate you taking time out of your morning to join me here for this interview. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. How's your morning been?
Good. Monday mornings are always manic, catching up from stuff over the weekend. But yeah, it's going well so far.
Fair. Okay, so let's get straight into it. I saw some wins from you in the e-commerce and Amazon FBA campus. Could you explain what they were about?
Yeah, so Amazon, I've recently started. I've only been running it for about 2 months now. Kind of something on the side, kind of to see what was there. It's unbelievably easy once it's all set up. There's very little I have to do other than check on stock and just send some more stuff in. But it's kind of a lot of it overlaps with the stuff I've learned from e-commerce, and kind of there was no real big purchases or anything that I needed to buy in, as I had all of the boxes and everything already. So my e-commerce store, I started, the store's been around for about 2 years, but the company, kind of the idea of it has been around for nearly 3.5 years. I sell aftermarket car parts. It started with me 3D printing a couple of parts that I wanted for my car using a friend's 3D printer. And once I got a couple of those going, I'd made enough to buy myself a 3D printer, and it kind of just snowballed from there. So I went from an eBay store with about 30 products to a website with about 30 products. And then in the last 3 months, it's massively ramped up, and I'm now on nearly 19,000 products on the website, offering to a global market. And yeah, massively moving up in the world. It's my full-time income. I don't have a job or anything like that. Well, I do, but I work for myself as and when, and it's great.
Would you be comfortable revealing figures you've made from the e-commerce and the Amazon FBA stores?
Yeah, of course. Amazon brings in around £1,000 a month in revenue. There are obviously a lot of costs with that. And I had a couple of products where Amazon banned the product and destroyed the stock, which is kind of just part of the game. But now I know to avoid those kind of products, it's still bringing me in about £1,000 a month in revenue. Profit of that, I think, is between 30 and 25%. So it's not bad, 250 quid extra a month. And that's kind of with a lot of time spent researching, and then very, very little to do with it after that. You just kind of watch the stock and make sure that there's still stuff in stock to be sold. But yeah, that's the Amazon side of it. I've also only been doing that for 2 months. I'm kind of still expecting growth from that. The Shopify store, I bring in around £10,000 a month, if not more, every month.
In revenue or profit?
In revenue.
Yeah. And would you be comfortable saying roughly percentage profit, or no? No problem with that.
It's difficult to measure, because I reinvest everything back into the business that I don't need, because that kind of is my full-time income, and I want to see it grow. The past 3 years, it has doubled every year. So I'm hoping to be, this time next year, be making £20,000 a month. But it's around similar margins, so it's around 20%.
How has the real world contributed to the scaling of your e-commerce store? Because you would have been doing it before you joined the real world.
It's a lot more about the kind of the lessons that are within the real world. That's what I joined for. It was kind of the knowledge of these other people who are out there doing it as well. Being in the business owners group on there, as well as the e-commerce advanced chat, means that I get to speak to other people who are doing similar figures to me every month. And it's great to kind of share ideas. What are they doing well? What are they doing that I could implement? So as much as I think the business would still be growing with or without, I think it's definitely covered its costs and kind of accelerated that, because you're able to speak to like-minded people. You're able to kind of there isn't as much networking, but there's always somebody there that knows the answer. And that's the value of that is just phenomenal. When I was looking at doing paid advertising, which I still don't do any paid advertising on that £10,000 a month, the kind of the support there, and the kind of I broke down what I was doing and how I was doing it, and kind of had a load of people answer me with, "Oh, you should try this. This works well for me. Maybe you should look at." And it's so many people who have been there and done that, and there's so much learning from all of those individuals and all of those hours that individually people have put into this to find out, okay, this has worked for me. Why don't you try this? Yeah, and kind of some of the apps and other tools that the professors have shown within the lessons and stuff like that was stuff that I added in. Obviously, there was stuff that I already knew, like how to set up a Shopify store and kind of things like that. But there's always things that you can kind of improve on.
Whoa! Welcome to the real world.